ICE uses Nike, Jordans, and Chicago Bulls jerseys to arrest suspected gang members.
Stereotyping racism at its finest.
Man, ain't no
question is which jersey?
For some
Hey, look, me and Jumpman both getting arrested. We gotta go back to Chicago because they're gonna be like, oh,
well,
gang members.
What I'm gonna get arrested
you
for?
Because you wearing Jordans and Bulls jerseys.
No, you for sure.
Man, you got to watch your colors in Chicago and LA.
Apparently.
You look like Suge Knight's lost son.
Damn. Damn, it's lost son.
Nephew, cousin,
Sheesh.
whatever, bro. You draw attention wherever you go.
I'll try to do better.
Please do if we go to LA.
An article written by Mitty Hicks for blackenterprise.com. ACLU lawyers are accusing ICE agents, ICE being Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, of falsely linking Nike clothing, Air Jordan, Chicago Bulls jerseys, and tattoos to the Venezuelan gang, Trende Aragua.
Now you better pronounce that right.
I know.
They gonna come for you.
In the declaration filed recently, ACLU lawyers representing some of the people targeted provided a series of documents and 20 exhibits. Agents identify people they suspect are part of the gang. According to documents, ACLU lawyers obtained Homeland Security Investigations Chicago Field Office has Detecting and Identifying Gang Members Guide. Some identifiers are the Jumpman symbol, people dressed in high-end urban streetwear, and people who favor the Chicago Bulls basketball jersey, specifically Michael Jordan.
God damn, that was racist.
Like you know how broad of a fucking that's anybody
So
under the
how,
age.
so how are you to determine a Chicago Bull fan from a Venezuelan gang member?
If they got a Scottie Pippen jersey.
That or if they're just white wearing the jersey.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr, he's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
But here's the thing about it though. You put this out publicly, then guess what? If they were wearing that, they can walk around with like, okay, excuse me, the gang members could be like, you wear Knicks, you wear Pistons, you wear Lakers. And then now if they wear jerseys, not how you gonna pick them up.
I mean, first of all, this is broad. Jumpman logo, Bulls jersey, and what else?
In the city
And
that where he
urban,
played in,
high-end urban.
in the city he played in for 15 years.
But how the fuck? Like, you know how many people that is?
But they doing this as a reason to stereotype the stop and frisk and all that.
Yeah.
Not a reason, not have probable cause to stop and frisk you because you're dressed like a Venezuelan gang member.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Identifiers don't stop there.
That's so 90s policing.
Oh yeah, that's
and that works
90s,
so well.
2000.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Shit is fucked up.
Crazy.
Identifiers don't stop there. Investigators say people wearing jerseys with the number 23. And
So
those
you got
who
a LeBron James Cleveland Cavs jersey.
basically. And those who wear Jumpman footwear are also suspicious.
God damn, that was racist.
So Jumpman is a suspect.
I would be stopped every day.
Man, if they go to his basement.
Oh my God, we found him.
He's still here. Oh my God. Open and shut case, Johnson. I saw this once before when I was a rookie. Apparently this nigger broke in and hung up pictures of his family everywhere. Well, let's sprinkle some crack on him and get out of here.
Gang member.
Right. He's the kingpin of the Venezuelan gang.
Well, you and him got something in common.
He's a
man.
reseller. He supplies the gang member shoes,
Man,
fusions, and everything.
that is.
So I wonder if they would stop him if they had on fusions.
That's a Jumpman logo. So
Yeah, there you go.
Some of them got the small Jumpman logo though.
As long as they got the logo, they see the logo on there, it's a wrap.
It's so crazy. It costs more money to deport them than it would just to make them legal.
He ain't lying.
Like a miracle for you.
Bruh.
And the one dude that got mistakenly deported, and they admitted that.
God damn, that was racist.
They fight to keep him over there.
They was gonna go and get him, but now they saying now Trump got the Supreme Court to say yes or not bringing him back. So you said, hey, we mistakenly deported him. He was technically legal, but you're not gonna let him come back. And he's in one of them El Salvador, like one of them South America prisons. where they had them stacked up like they used to do the black
I think they
people's
talk about
face.
it.
That
in the
was
story.
on the news the other
Like,
day.
that's disgusting.
They have
man.
them
Like,
sitting there like they on a boat, and they all like right back to back. Man, come on, man. No shoes and socks on. And
A
all
lot of
that.
diseases going on over there.
Man,
that's so
that's
foul,
gross.
disgusting, man.
yeah, that's
Like,
super foul.
Yeah. Tren de Agua expert Rona Risquez recently told NBC News that while Latin American gangs often use tattoos to signal membership, that's not always the case with the Venezuelan gang. The Trump administration has been using the Alien Enemies Act to deport or forcefully relocate people it suspects of being part of the gang. However, and I hate the fact that it's like you can suspect anything. Like I can, like what's the basis of it though? Like you got to have a reasonable basis, not just they're wearing Jordans in a jersey. Like, that's the dumbest fucking.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You are a fucking idiot.
However, the ACLU says many of the people targeted are active asylum seekers. ACLU's filing comes amid questions about due process. ICE deported Neri Alvarado to the notorious maximum security prison known as I.C.E for a tattoo with an autism awareness ribbon with his brother's name on it.
Why come you don't have a tattoo?
So you ain't even. So you just saw a tattoo and just said, "Fuck it, he gang members." Like even though it says. So anybody with a breast cancer awareness tattoo, look out. Let's see. Neri said ICE agents told him he was detained for his tattoos. An agent told Neri, "We're finding and questioning everyone who has tattoos."
PC, you fly the chopper around the island. I'll go talk to the beautiful women. And Tattoo here will keep an eye out for the kidnappers.
Higgins.
We'll need to have security unlock the gate for me out front. Okay, Tattoo?
It's Higgins.
What?
The name is Higgins.
What's your name?
Tattoo.
And this is so goddamn stupid. In another incident, the U.S. government admitted to accidentally deporting legal resident Kilmer Abrego Garcia because of an administration error. As NBC News reported, even with the mistake, the government has no plans to bring him back to the United States.
God damn, that was racist.
I don't know what.
It's disgusting on all levels. It's almost to the point where people who like even thought about supporting him, you gotta look at them sideways. Because it's not like Obama, McCain, where who got the better policies? Like both decent humans. This is just inhumane, disrespectful. Like,
Yeah,
the things that are and the people that are affected by that, and in the government, they took away the unions, and in a newsletter for like people who work federal jobs, they take away the union and saying that the unions are a threat to national security.
But then you got the UAW president going out there, but terrorists are like, shut the fuck up, Sean Fain.
That's right, buddy. You show that turd who's boss.
Here's the thing. We go back to, like, first of all, as somebody who, like, I'm a lover of history. In particular, one of my things I love, not love, but I'm really into is World War II, because a lot of things happened. There was a lot of moving parts. And watching things play out is so eerily reminiscent of things that led up to things that happened in World War II. And people are just, like, okay with the shit, and it's, like, bothering me. Like, how do you admit that this person was a mistake, but then still fight, not to bring them back, but to keep them over there? That shit is crazy to me, and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares, and it's like, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand.
I've never seen so many people on board with a stupid decision or a stupid, like, illegitimate person. He's making George Bush look like Muhammad Bugatti.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again."
Real talk.
like he really is.
You know the scary part to
market
me is,
manipulation, like everything he's done is just in 90 days, if that.
the crazy part, you know what it is though? Somebody said, like, think about it, like when like somebody gets conned, right? And you tell them, "Hey man, that was a con." A lot of times their defense is to argue with you because it's more about not looking like you got conned as opposed to just admitting that you got conned. right? Same thing when people like get cheated on, right? Like you tell somebody they got cheated on, they get mad and defensive because they want to live in this reality because nobody wants to admit that they got caught slipping. So it's better to keep up the facade than it is. And it's like, you know, and that's why earlier when I said, you know, I ask people questions like how or why, right? Because you will talk to people and they are so entrenched in a thought or a belief, and you'll ask a simple question like how or why, and you'll start unpacking shit, and they'll realize like, damn, like I don't even know why I think this way. And it's like, I don't know how we got to this place. Critical thinking is just, I don't know when that shit, that shit just packed his bags and left years ago. And it's scary that we're in a place now where, I mean, all things considered, you know, the history of this country. But I think that's part of the problem too, is that when you don't know history, well, that's the saying, right? When you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it, right? Because the reason you got to know history is that you learn the lessons. But if you don't know history, then you miss the lesson. And then you end up repeating the same mistakes that past people made and it's like, why are we doing this shit? But
maybe it's not a mistake. Maybe this is who America is.
No, I'm saying in general. No, I mean, yeah, you can make that argument. I have a hard time arguing against it, but I'm just saying in general, it's like that's the whole point. Like, you know, and I just don't understand how.
I think how this is different than past is that even when Nixon was on his BS, he still has some opposition from Congress and Senate. You know what I'm saying?
That's the crazy part.
Like he got everybody kissing the ring.
You know who brought down Nixon? 4 Republicans. Like it was because back then there was still people like, you know what, this is fucked up. This is a step too far. Like there was still people willing enough. Now the Republican Party are just capitulating and just like
you pick 4-5 people in the Supreme Court. You didn't pick. They got control of the House and Senate. And if you and then any law firms that went after him, he getting them disbarred. He said either you will get rolled with us or get rolled on. And he really moving like he really run the country like Death Row.
Yeah.
He really run the country like
he running like Wilson Fisk.
And what's crazy is some people that rock with him got the axe too.
It's crazy, man. That's why I'm like, man, like
I saw a video where he shook Robert Kennedy's hand and his wife stood there with her hand on. He just like dubbed her.
Because she wasn't a big fan of his.
But it's so crazy though. You still shook Rick Rubio's hand. What's the dude's name? And the senator in Texas.
Ted Cruz.
Yeah, Ted Cruz. Because you call his wife ugly and everything, and
because Ted Cruz rolled over.
Look, his kids stood on business because he told his dad, like his mom, like don't shake his hand. Remember what he said about you? Like his kids stood on business. Like Ted Cruz, you sold out too. You some sucker. You're not gonna talk about my family.
But when you get to the point where power and authority trumps your quote unquote patriotism, then it's like when you get people like you was all about the Constitution until it like goes against what you believe, and all of a sudden you all about throwing away the Constitution, which is crazy to me. You got people like, you know, he's talking about the judges and stuff, and people are like, man, these judges, I'm like, y'all never heard of checks and balances? Like, that's why you have 3 co-equal branches of government. Like, judges aren't there to judge whether or not, like, they're not there to create policy. They're there to judge the legality of policy. So when it's brought to the courts, they're weighing it against and if it doesn't hold water, you can't just do what you want to do. Like, that's called a dictatorship.
A couple of the deportations shouldn't have happened. It was against the court's ruling, and he still did it. They just said, well, we don't care what the court said.
We're going to do what we want to anyway. It's like, dog, you going to do that shit. Then it's like, okay. Like, and it's funny because Obama said it. Like, can you imagine if I did any of this shit? Dog, it's like, y'all got mad at this dude for wearing a tan suit. He couldn't wear a tan suit.
He put the tariffs on there knowing that the stock was going to drop. Then he tweeted out buy, and then 4 hours after he tweeted out buy, he paused the tariffs and then had a meeting in his Oval Office. Charles Schwab was there and some other people was there. It was like he bought the dip and he made $900 million in 2 days. He made $2.2 billion. That's market manipulation, unethical.
You know what?
And the politicians, because now they got the app where you could see all the stocks the politicians are buying, and it would show that as soon as he put the tariffs in, a lot of this one politician, I forgot her name, she bought like $1 million in stock, and then once he paused it, this market shot back up. Like that's insider trading.
That's why I said we need to get rid of everybody and start over.